Malaki ang papel na ginagampanan ng agham at teknolohiya sa pag-unlad ng isang bansa. Sa pagsulong ng mga makabagong programa at kagamitan, maagap na nasusolusyonan ang mga problemang kinakaharap natin sa panahon ng kalamidad.
At upang mas maliwanagan tayo tungkol sa mga upgrades na ito, makakasama natin ngayong gabi ang isang expert pagdating sa usapang pangsiyensya.
Sec, good evening.
Good evening, Gio.
Good evening.
Isang mechanical engineer at technopreneur, si Secretary Mario Montejo ay nagtapos sa University of the Philippines at pang-anim sa 1975 Mechanical Engineering Board exam. Siya ay kinilala ng UP bilang 2011 Distinguished Alumni in Science and Technology at isa sa mga 100 Outstanding Alumni Engineers of the Century noong 2010. Bukod sa iba pang mga parangal at malawak na private sector background, malaki na rin ang kanyang nagawa sa larangan ng engineering design at technology solutions and innovations. Si Secretary Montejo ay naniniwala na ang mga produkto at serbisyong nakukuha sa tamang paggamit ng siyensya at teknolohiya ay makakatulong ng malaki para mapaunlad ang isang lipunan.
Let's give a warm welcome to our Science and Technology Secretary, Secretary Mario Montejo. Sec, magandang gabi po.
Good evening, Gio. Good evening, Aiko.
Good evening, sir. Sir, ano po, pag sinasabi kasing DOST, yung unang naiisip ng mga tao is pag-asa. Baka siguro, sir, ngayon, lilinawin lang namin kung ano yung pinaka-mandate and scope ng department nyo para lang mas malaman nila na it's more than just pag-asa.
Oh, mas kilala talaga si Pag-asa. Mas tahimik siguro yung other agencies under DOST. Anyway, we are involved into apat na areas talaga. Yung isa ay disaster preparedness. Yung isa nga for weather and flooding, storm surge, yun ang Pag-asa. Para naman sa volcano eruption, earthquake, and other geological, yun ang other PBOX. Pag nuclear naman, radiation, which happened last year, yung PNR, Philippine Nuclear. Now, meron din kaming education or human resource development, especially preparing mga mas batang scientists. Dalawa agency namin doon, yung SEI, which is handling scholarship, DOST scholars. Meron kami ERDT naman for postgraduate, for engineers. So, mayroon pa kami isang scholarship program for mga science-based. Under din sa amin, Philippine Science. Para sa kalaman ng publiko ay, this is also nationwide. Makukompleto na natin yung 16 under Pinoy administration. Nagsimula tayo either 8 or 9 lang for the past siguro 47 years in the Pinoy administration. Madadagdagan tayo, magiging 16 na siya.
Philippine Science
Philippine Science High School. Now, yung isa naming ahensya na medyo malaki ay ICTO, which is handling the booming IT BPO industry, iGov program ng government, eGov program ng government, cybersecurity. Yung others agency naman is, ang mandate talaga is to harmonize SNT o R&D programs of the government para tugunan yung ating mga programa, yung programa talaga ng national government agenda. Right now, nakafocus talaga sa inclusive growth, poverty alleviation, of course, in support also of economic development.
We'll delve more on that. Sec, nasabi nga ni Aika na kilalang-kilala ang DOST sa pag-asa, sa rain forecasting. Pero meron kayong big event nito lang recently, ang Science and Technology Week na ginawa ng DOST. Could you name yung mga landmark projects or showcased ideas niyo po doon?
Okay, yung SNT Week o Science Week talaga namin, ginawa namin we would like to convey talaga the message of the relevance of science and technology in several areas, no? Let's say for inclusive growth, paano tayo makatulong to improve productivity, so to have the know-how, the tools para improve productivity ng ating agriculture sector. We have also, again, to make our industry, both yung SME and even big industry, be more competitive para sa global competitiveness, and how to be able to improve delivery of government services like healthcare, and yung isa, disaster mitigation talaga. and to be able to adapt to climate change scenarios. So those are the 4 main areas. Now, we can go into particular bawat isa. If you, let's say agrikultura lang, okay? We are excited do sa aming stream program kasi parati kami, we look always sa paano natin ma-improve ang productivity. Ang productivity kasi in terms of 2 things eh. One is para bang yield, output, over input, kung ilang ilalagay ko. The lesser the input, the more productive we are. Okay? For example, yung shrimp, yung yield natin normally, mga let's say 1 ton per hectare, our scientist is confident kasi malapit na namin i-roll out. Kasi pag sinabi kasi roll out, na-adapt na namin sa field,
So tested na
tested
lahat
neto, pwede na namin, maghanap na tayo ng mga private businessman who would like to adopt the technology. And we are ready for the rollout. Naka-schedule naman next year. Dati ang target namin, binanggit ko kanina 1 ton per hectare, magiging 10 tons per hectare. So there's a 1,000% increase in yield. Kung per hectare, sabihin, 10 times ang mga ano. No? And they are even looking at even better than 10 times, maybe 20, 30, 40 times. Now, aside from that, nababawasan pa yung pinapakain natin sa shrimp. So, lumilit na input. All of these would result to mas malaking kita ng ating farmer business people. Okay. Now, aside from that, na-address din natin ang number 1 problem talaga ng shrimp, which is the disease ng white spots. So, na-address din natin yon. And having available fries. May tatawagin tayo mga broodstock. Ma-develop natin sariling broodstock. Ito yung buong programa, composed of several projects. Pero all in all, yun ang mga magiging output. Kasi yung ating mga negosyante na gusto pumasok sa agrikultura or aquaculture ay interesado kung magkano pa ang kikitain ko. Pangalawa, are we competitive with our neighbors? So, dapat talaga tayo nagbe-benchmark ng ating neighbors. So, ito, sinasabi lang natin na nagde-develop tayo ng kalaman at saka yung ibang tools. Iba kasi ito, equipment eh, paano pinapakain o others, paano mo na-maintain yung tubig. Kasi ano pala ito, closed system. Wala tayong tinatapon na tubig. So, it's really environmental friendly. Now, we have other program in bangus. Similar, increasing yield, reducing inputs. Again, benchmarking against best practice. With our neighbors na lang muna. Tilapia, seaweeds, we are looking at crab, we're looking at even tahong, even talaba, and we're talking about the aqua. No? Now we're also looking at, let's say, rice. Kasi ang rice tingnan natin kasi kami developing know-how nga tsaka tools. No? Okay. We look at the whole process of rice production. Mula sa paggawa ng seeds, paano magtanim, paano mag-alaga, paano ka mag-harvest, paano mo i-dry, at paano mo siya minimil. In all of this stage, kahit pa paano naghahanap tayo way to improve competitiveness. Bawat gap, mayroon diyan makakatulong ang science, agama, technology para may, let's say, planting. Dati tawag nila broodstock eh. Ngayon gumawa tayo ng transplanter, o hindi naman gumawa. We adapted the transplanter technology from abroad, accepted naman talaga. Pero in-adapt natin, maging attachment siya ng hand tractor. Kasi ang hand tractor kasi, tanggap na yun ang ating magsasakay. Para matanggap nila to mechanize, dapat naka-align tayo doon sa kanilang preference. So, paano naman tayong mag-alaga, kunyari sa tanim? We're talking here of optimizing water, improving the way we apply fertilizer. Tapos, paano naman tayo mag-harvest? So, we're looking also at mechanizing it. Again, attachment to a hand tractor para mas madali ma-adapt ng ating mga magsasaka. Paano natin siya i-dry? Kasi alam natin, nakikita natin, dinadry pa rin. Marami pa rin, ha? Dinadry pa rin nila sa karsada, basketball court. Paano tayo makakahanap ng teknolohiya na matatanggap ng ating magsasaka na huwag na lang sila mag-dry sa mga basketball court.
Okay, sa
Tapos,
highway.
paano natin may improve yung yield naman ng ating mga existing mga rice mill. So, yun ang aming tinitingnan. Nabanggit mo kanina before this show, yung menu for brown rice. We are also excited about the prospect of brown rice. Kasi ang brown rice talaga is unpolished rice. Pag hindi mo siya
Mas
pinapolish,
healthy, tama ba?
mas maraming yield. 10 to 15% more rice
Okay.
from the same palay.
Okay.
Kasi hindi mo siya pinalish.
Sir, mas profitable for them kung gano'n.
Yes, oo, tama yon. At mas nutritious.
Mas nutritious.
Kaya nga marami nga nagtataka, bakit daw natin pinapolish yung rice? Ang tawag doon sa tinatanggal natin, yan ang first class darak eh. First class rice bran. Na pinapakain natin sa livestock. Yun ang nagko-contribute ng nutrition sa livestock. Bakit daw natin papakainin sa livestock? Dapat kainin ng tao. Ngayon, na-address namin yung problema ng brown rice o unpolished rice. Yung maiksi lang talaga shelf life niya. Mas madali siya mag-deteriorate. Kaya makita nyo, mas mahal. It needs special packaging. Because, para bang special ang kanyang management.
Yung pagka-vacuum seal, kaya
Yes,
pag
oo.
natin.
Kaya mas mahal siya, almost doble. Na-increase na namin yung shelf life ng brown rice. So malapit na rin namin kasi aside from the process, kailangan namin ma-optimize to make it viable. So nandun kami sa stage na yon, pero malapit na kami matapos. So ready for commercialization. We are really working with DA talaga for this para lalo. Kasi kami developmental
Yes.
Hindi kami line. Yung line talaga is DA, the private, yun ang line. So hopefully they can adapt. We'll try to encourage people to adapt itong mga bagong kaalaman na ang target naman talaga is to improve productivity.
Nakita natin yung icon na na-mention niya ni Sec Balisacan na prioridad pa rin yung agrikultura kahit sa DOST sa pag-develop ng mga teknolohiya para sa mga ating mga magsasaka.
Sir, may sinabi na nabanggit na rin yung inclusive growth. Aside from sa agrikultura, meron ba kayong parang major research or major project for other industries like manufacturing siguro?
Okay.
May ongoing bang...
Anyway, aside from that, we're looking at other crops na which were identified din na mga medyo, ito yung ating major crop that we should sabi lang natin ang tawag lang namin to be world class. Basta world class yung ating kaalaman para pwede tayo to compete with others. Now, we are, again, excited. Alam mo naman kami sa UST, parati kami excited. We are excited on the prospect ng ating tawag namin small gold mine, small gold miners. No? Ang mga miners natin ngayon, yung mga small scale tayo, ang kanilang, the way they process it, ang nakukuha nilang yield from the gold ore is 40 to 60, sorry. Now, our scientists were able to develop a process, our scientists and engineers, na mag-i-increase to 90. So, almost double. I mean, with the present ore, pwede mo madoble ang makukuha natin na gold. Hindi ito mercury. So, this is environmental friendly and the energy requirements ay comparable. So, tingin namin, with this, we are really creating value with the present ore. Nga, alam naman natin, inclusive growth, alam mo naman yung gold mining ay nasa poverty, mga areas wherein there are may incidence of
Mataas yung
poverty. Oo. So, yun ang, that's inclusive because lahat ng value adding dun lang sa locality.
So even in the small scale?
Yes.
Okay. Ano talaga, lahat ng larangan pinapasokan ng DOST to improve and to really to modernize SEC.
Okay. Papunta pa sa to modernize, to improve productivity. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Nagsisimula pa lang tayo. You may join us in our Facebook and Twitter accounts or via Google Hangout mamaya po. We'll be back after this short break. You're still watching Gov at Work with DOST Secretary Mario Monteo. Sec, bago nag-break, pinag-usapan natin yung modernization. Puntahan naman natin yung modernization programs ng Pag-asa at PhilVox na marami talagang nagtatanong ukol dito. Could you talk about it, Sec?
Okay, ano ba ma-expect ng public? Okay. Yung una-una, yung merong nag-donate ng IBM sa atin ng supercomputer. It will be operational by siguro September, October. Now, with the supercomputer, pwede tayo mag-run ng more advanced weather modeling software. Ano naman what would this enable us? Okay? Yung ating weather forecast will be more accurate. It will be extended from the present 4 to 5 days to 7 days. Magiging more area specific, ibig sabihin, kunwari Manila, ano ba weather na Manila kumpara sa Quezon City? Magkaiba na sila. So mas hindi yung buong Metro
Buong Metro
Manila ay ganito, kundi more specific. So mas ma-appreciate na lalo na yung ating mga kababayan sa buong Pilipinas. Ngayon, yung another one is we have also, it will improve our seasonal forecast. Sabihin, may gagawa tayo ng weather information next month, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, may seasonal.
Kaya na, sir.
Oo. Pero hindi to forecast, meaning, para bang, ano ba ulan nito for the next month? The amount of rain that you will be expecting. Not necessarily on the day. But ano bang condition of the weather for the next? These are very important sa ating, kunwari, dam operators, sa ating magsasaka. Ngayon, we would also be using this supercomputer para we have a global climate change scenarios para ma-downscale ito, again, to specific areas. Para bang we are looking at ano ba weather 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, at what do you expect? Ngayon, importante ito because ang Pilipinas talaga medyo may blessing talaga. Maraming ulan. Except that minsan napapasobra in certain lugar, no? Okay? Pero minsan, there's such a thing na nakikita ng climate change scenario, baka mabawasan. Now, baka itong bawas na ulan ay doon sa isang lugar. Ibig sabihin, we would expect baka magkaroon ng drought. Actually, it's happening. Hindi naman to permanent, but there are some cases na may drought. Ibig sabihin, yung ulan na, kunyari rain-fed yung aking agriculture, hindi na kaya niya mag-grow or to support. Ibig sabihin nito, kung ano man ang ulan na darating, dapat i-manage na natin ng tama. Hindi natin pwede itapon na lang yung tubig. Yung sinatabag natin na baha, ngayon ay magiging ginto na yung mamaya pag lumiit kasi. So, having this, para bang, it's not really a very accurate picture, but somehow, may picture tayo what to expect para for us to be able, all other agencies with this information can prepare. So these are okay, what is modernization for Pag-asa? Another thing is, ma-expand naman natin ang role ng meteorologist. Yes. Kasi normally, ang meteorologist talaga, parang na-marginalize, is typhoon tracking. Para tinasan ba yung bagyo? Para bang 6 months of the year, very busy ang Pag-asa. 6 months of the year, medyo relax. Pero actually, ang sinasabi ko kanina, as I mentioned kanina, weather is very important. The impact of weather is very important to agriculture. Now, we are talking about patterns, Kasing patterns, kasi ang mga halaman natin, nasanay dati ng araw, ulan. Nagbabago na. Pati yung time. Yung timeline ng araw, ulan, even the magnitude ng ulan. Itong information nito ay dapat makatulong sa ating mga agricultural scientists naman para malaman ang epekto o impact naman ito sa halaman. Para naman maka-adjust, makapagbigay tayo ng impormasyon naman sa ating magsasaka para bang ang mga tanong lang naman ano ba itatanim ko? Base do sa weather na mangyayari, kailan ba ako mag-harvest, or kailan ako magtatanim, kailan ako maglalagay ng fertilizer. So hopefully, in-expand lang natin yung meteorologist role, which is hindi lang sa typhoon, but also ordinary weather. Makatulong sila maghanap planning, makahanap ng drought, impact, makatulong sa ating magsasaka. So ito yung part, we call it modernization. Modernization means talaga naman is getting more information, getting sensors, getting tools, may ganun supercomputer, mga modeling, and using all of this information, all of this data naman, para to have an information na makakatulong sa ating magsasaka, sa aquaculture, sa industriya, sa power, water resource management, para makatulong sila. So these are the tawag natin, mga direction natin ng with Pag-asa. maano talaga ma-appreciate na napaka-importante ang weather information. Not only for disaster preparedness. Okay. With PVOX naman, even before naman, continue naman ang modernization ng PVOX, meaning, again, papunta tayo sa paglalagay ng maraming sensors para kung may mangyari man, makakakuha ka tayo ng information. What happened? Kamukha na, let's say, nagkaroon ng earthquake, makakuha ka agad almost, sana immediately, yun ang plano natin. Yung mga mapping, earthquake mapping, ano na ba yung mga, both geohazard maps and intensity maps. Malaman na kagad natin saan ba malakas, yung other, tapos ano yung mga vulnerable areas, ano mga expected damages, or so yun ang mga ano natin sa...
So recently, ni-launch ng DOST yung MOSES for Project NOAA. Tingin ko, sir, marami pang hindi nakakaalam kung ano ito. So, sir, can you also talk about it?
Okay, let's go first to NOAA. Okay? Yung NOAA na kasi 2 years eh. It's only 1 year pa lang naman yung NOAA. Dapat matapos kami early next year. Ang NOAA talaga, ang objective is to tugon sa utos ng ating Pangulo na magkaroon ng early warning system for flood along the 18 major river system in the Philippines. Meron na kaming modeling for 12. It's composed of several components. No? May LiDAR map para makagawa kami ng modeling. Meron lagay kami ng mga sensors, water level sensors. Ano bang resulta lang naman ito? Una-una, 6 hours muna. Actually, as per utos, 6 hours muna eh. Pero with improvement in weather forecasting, pwede natin ma-extend into days pa nga. Okay? Even more important, ano ba impact ng baha? Kasi pag sinabi kong uulan ng 10 mm, 20 mm, minsan hindi ma-appreciate ng tao. Eh. Basta appreciate ng tao, what will it cost? Ano ba impact nito? So, papakita namin mga inundation map. Ibig sabihin, babaha ng itong lugar na ito ay babaha. In 6 hours, ang baha nito ay lalaki pa ng ganito. Tapos ang baha na yan, ganito yung kalalim.
Kung saan mag-extend, sir? Yung
Yun ang ating gustong mabigay na information. Now, itong information naman ito, among others, including weather information, ay pwede ma-download o pwede makuha sa MOSES naman.
Okay.
So, itong MOSES naman is a tablet, two-way communication, wherein talagang from the start talaga, it was developed and designed talaga to receive and to transmit also, pero primarily to receive weather, disaster preparedness information. Like, ang binanggit ko nga sa inyo, kanina, flood inundation maps, siyempre, weather conditions, weather information. Pero two-way to, wherein pwedeng mayroon siyang camera, naka-GPS, yung meron MOSES can have a picture, papadala, tapos naka-GPS naman siya.
Parang
What is the actual condition?
Ito nga yung nakakit na parang mini-mention sa project na wala gano'n. So, puntahan ko naman sa yung Philippine Standard Time. Ano yung role na nilalaro ng Philippine Standard Time, especially that DOST is the main agency to implement or to espouse PST?
It was recently approved. Actually, we are in the midst of preparing the guidelines. So nandun pala kami ngayon. Maganda naman ang aming talks with other stakeholders. Ang layunin naman talaga ito, isa na lang oras sa Pilipinas. Yun lang naman ang layunin nito. And we have also a budget naman with Pag-asa para magkaroon tayo ng atomic clock, which is the most accurate clock. Wherein all PST naman will be based on that. But of course, this is also consistent yung global time naman.
Sir, kasi kami ni Gio, pinag-uusapan namin kayo, yung PST is parang a culture thing din. Kasi, di ba usually may Filipino time, may ganun. Do you think, hindi naman siya technically DOST related question, but related sa PST, magkakaroon kaya ito ng effect doon?
Yes, kasi number one rason dati kasi sa oras ko eh. Di ba?
Maliban sa traffic,
Mali yung oras ko eh. O, magtitingin ng patay ng relo.
Nagko-compare pa, sir, kung gaano kailangan.
Ito, dapat isa na lang ang oras. So, hindi mo na pwede, at least nababawasan yung reason. Baka traffic na lang ang reason niya. Pero hindi na pwedeng magkaiba tayo ng oras.
Okay,
Cultural
so
synchronization, accuracy sa lahat ng antas ang talagang gusto ng PST, no, Aika?
actually sir, marami pa tayong pag-uusapan pero magka-commercial break muna kami. Huwag po kayong aalis, magbabalik po kami.
Welcome back sa Gov at Work. We are still joined by Science and Technology Secretary Mario Monteo. Sec, sa portion na to, yung mga kababayan naman natin ang directly magtatanong sa inyo via our Google at Gov at Work Hangout. Simulan natin kay Kokoy Dayaw, isa siyang Editor-in-Chief ng The Pro Pinoy Project. Kokoy, your question please.
Good evening, Mr. Secretary. I recently read that the President issued an administrative order mandating the Executive Department to host websites with the DOST. With multiple attacks on government websites, is the DOST ready to handle all the hosting? And how do you plan to defend against hackers? Thank you po.
Few months ago, we were hacked, and some say that it was from international sources. And meron kaming minamanage na website, government.ph. It was na-hack talaga siya na gusto, but it was able to withstand. Although there was some effect on the speed, pero na-withstand na yung hacking. And nangyari to ulit and others. Okay? And some government website na hindi under gov.ph was not able to withstand yung ibang hacking. Okay? Now, naatasan yung DOST under ICTO na to be able to organize talaga ng defense, to be able to maintain, get the best technology, the best equipment para ma-handle itong hacking. Both para hindi maapektuhan yung speed of service or kung maapektuhan, dapat kaya pa rin. And also to develop the security or defense strategies na lang. Some of which medyo we cannot discuss.
Yes, sir.
But definitely, on both aspects, we are really serious on doing. And since na-withstand naman namin, even Office of the President under gov.ph, inatasan all government website will be under this protection of this government.ph.
Parang
or under
sariling
ICTO.
firewall lang.
Yes. And we will be maintaining that firewall, whatever defense needed para lang makapag-withstand.
Okay? So maraming salamat, Kokoy. Andito naman po si Jessica Salonga, isang UST student. Jessica, your question for Mr. Secretary.
Hi, good evening, Secretary. Masasabi po ba natin high-tech na ang facilities ng ating gobyerno? Ano po ba yung plano natin gawin para i-modernize at mas maging high-tech na tayo tulad ng ibang bansa?
Salamat, Jessica, sa tanong. Pag sinabi kasi natin modernize ang gobyerno, para bang kalahatan yun . Mahirap na mamasabi natin na modernize na tayo. Pero there are many areas naman na we have modern facilities like yung ADMATEL, it's Advanced Material Testing talaga. Ito naman yung supportan natin sa semicon industry. It's talaga siya, high-tech talaga. Very, very talaga modern siya, which will support value-adding. Gusto talaga tayo mag-encourage ng value-adding activity sa ating industry. Hindi lang assembly, kundi to develop the semicon mismo and to test it dito. So, to encourage our very innovative na mga engineers and technical people to come up with our own design, to come up with our own product. Kasi mas malaki na value. Ngayon, nabanggit ko kanina, mga supercomputer, maybe in this region, few countries talaga na may supercomputer.
Okay.
And again, with the supercomputer, it enables you to use more advanced modeling. I think, babalik lang ako sa NOAA dahil mas kilala ng mas marami po sa public, yung ating LiDAR mapping, maybe we are in this area, one of the
Tayo.
tayo ang pinaka-advance. And we can even export that kind of expertise. So maraming areas naman talaga, hindi kalahatan. Pero the government is really serious in being to upgrade.
So pati sa industriya, no, sir. Maraming salamat, Jessica. Puntahan naman natin si Miss Feli Teodoro para sa kanyang tanong. Sige po, ma'am.
Good evening, Secretary. Ano po ba competitive ang ating mga Filipino scientists at inventors by international standards?
Thank you, Feli, for your question. Okay. Ang tanong kasi, ano ba ka-competent yung ating mga scientists tsaka inventors vis-a-vis international standard. No? Mahirap kasi sabihin kagad eh. Okay. Now, ang isa kasi rito, yung ating Philippine Science High School, banggit ko na yun, magiging 16, is very committed to make it the #1 science high school system in ASEAN by 2015.
Wow, 2015 sir yung goal.
2015. So it's a well-planned, serious parang commitment nila to be #1. It just show yung potential ng Filipino scientist. Ibig sabihin, pag sinabi natin, kaya ba ng Pilipino? Ito lang, high school. Yes, kaya ng Pilipino. Now, pag ilista naman natin yung ating mga output na world class, meron din, marami kami, kamukha niyan, LiDAR mapping, ano na tayo? We are malamang in this area tayo. Kanina, banggit about brown rice, that is an original Filipino innovation. Ano ba? Even yung the way we handle disaster na it's all over the Philippines. Kanina, banggit ko yung shrimp. Marami pa naman sa listahan. Definitely, we can come out with world-class output from our R&D. Yun ang definite. We need to increase. So we are, nagyayaya tayo. Ibig lang naman sabihin ito, kaya natin. We really have to encourage both in producing world-class output, R&D output, and also to encourage the public naman to adapt. Kasi, siyempre, ang fulfillment naman talaga ng mga scientists, yung ginamit nilang world-class, ay gagamitin.
Maraming salamat po sa mga nakigov at work hangout sa amin. Magbabalik po kami with more questions for Secretary Montejo.
Nagbabalik ang Gov at Work with our guest, DOST Secretary Mario Monteo. Sec, sa bahaging to naman, may mga guests tayo from media who will be asking their questions. We'll start with Sir Sel Baisa mula sa Radyo ng Bayan.
Ang katanungan po, Mr. Secretary, ay hinggil po dito sa tulong na pinagkakaloob ng inyong pong kagawaran sa ating pong mga local inventors.
Ano yung status? Of
Yes,
course,
sir.
we are always would like to support local inventors. Ang totoo niyan, I was also an inventor way
Yes,
back 1989. At ako rin nakakuha ng tulong sa DOST. Walk-in lang ako, walk-in. And I was able to get some funding from DOST na nagamit ko po yung aking invention noon po design po ng makina panggawa ng mga screen. And nakatulong po yung DOST under yung TAPI funding dati. And yun, nakatulong sa akin para mabuo yung aking makina. Tapos, nakahingi ulit ako ng tulong sa DOST. Panggawa naman ng makina ng mga gabions. So, in effect, even way back, ang DOST po, in my personal capacity na lang as a inventor before, nakatulong po ang DOST. And we are maintaining or even improving po yung aming support po sa atin. Pero naka-premise po kasi parati na ang output it would result to either better products, better services, or better process. So we are always on the lookout po. At yung minsan, even if meron na kaming, nakikipag-unayan din kami ng mga pribado,
Opo.
even if you good, our ideas din na maganda, nakikipag-unayan kami, makatulong ang private naman to develop it further.
Aha.
So it's not only inventors, even fabricator, nakikipag-ugnayan kami para mapabilis po yung ating. Alam naman namin ng pribado, whether inventors sila or engineering companies, mas mabilis sila makapag gawa ng mga prototype.
Sasamantalahin ko ng pagkakataon, Mr. Secretary. Ano po ang inyong may advice dito sa ating mga local inventors for them to do? Kung sakasakali meron po silang local invention na nais pong ipakita, ipamalas sa DOTC, sir. O sa inyo pong ahensya. Sorry.
Okay. Kamukha din po ng aming mga R&D proposal, dapat very clear po ano ba ang expected output. Kamukha po, kanina ay, kasi tatlo lang naman po yun eh. Either mas maganda ang produkto niya sa whatever is in the market now, or it is a new product talaga which would have function na kaiba-iba. O kaya siya ay nagdudulot ng, it's a new process.
Opo.
O kaya it can, better services. Dapat very clear po what it can do compared to existing. Na pag mapakita po yon at merong tawag po natin ay dapat naman it should scientific basis naman po. Now, dapat din open. Open po na for us to examine po and for the inventor to explain. But definitely we would support. I mean, the whole country, the whole government po ay should encourage and not only encourage but support mga inventors with very good ideas. And yung nga, meron kami, even up to na po, yung TAPI, Technology Application Institute namin. Promotion Institute po.
So sa ngalan po ng ating mga local inventors, salamat po ng marami. Mabuhay ang DOST. Mabuhay po kayo, Secretary
Thank you.
Montero.
Thank you. Salamat
Okay,
po.
thank you,
At
Sen.
mga inventors.
Andito rin si Pat De Leon from Solar News.
Secretary, we know that traffic congestion is just one of the problems we are currently facing now, especially here in Metro Manila. Recently, the Manila City government implemented a bus ban to ease traffic congestion. In your part, in the OST's part, what are you doing to improve mass transportation?
Okay, una-una doon, yung premise kasi, traffic. Okay. Just like many transport expert, consider talaga na yung mass transport is the key to reduce traffic. Because it optimizes yung paggamit ng finite road space. Talagang finite naman talaga yung road space. Paano natin ma-optimize yan for it to be able to carry more riders o passengers? Doon lang po sa mass transport. Okay. Nagsimula kami, we developed yung AGT namin, Automated Guideways Transport. Tapos linagay namin yung test track sa UP. It's undergoing testing pa rin. Very positive yung results, pero we have to undergo the whole testing procedures. So hopefully matapos namin by September. So by that time, pwede namin talaga i-offer for adapters. Now, UP also have positive naman yung kanilang to extend 2 kilometers up to Katipunan na. So, and it would include other system. Kasi yung AGT naman talaga from the start, yung para bang it's a vehicle. Pero ngayon, kasama yung signaling, kasama yung ticketing, para bang it's a whole mass transport system. Ang system testing na, o development and also testing. Now, yung sa UP kasi medyo maliit. So we are making another bigger one. Ang test track namin nasa Bikutan lang. Ibig sabihin ng bigger one, comparable na ito sa MRT, LRT in terms of capacity. Now, because of the know-how developed and learned from AGT, which is primarily how to power, yung motorized kasi ito yung power system. Kasi it comprises maraming motors Kailangan natin to manage all the different motors ng tama. Develop din kami ng road train. Ang train naman ito ay rubber-tired na duktong-duktong. Ang regenerative, meaning pag nagbe-brake, ini-store yung energy, tapos gini-give back during acceleration. It is motorized, pero may sariling generator, pero eventually kung it becomes, the system is acceptable, pwede rin lagyan ng wires kamukha sa taas, kamukha ng mga MRT, LRT. We are bullish with this because nakasakay lang ito sa existing road. Dedicated lang nga. Pero hindi na kailangan itaas pa. So it would need less investment and less disruption kung i-adapt. We are also developing our own train naman. Yung nakasakay naman sa release mismo. So sabay-sabay itong road train, yung bigger AGT, tsaka yung train. Kasi yung train naman, we have a close working collaboration with PNR. Mayroon na silang right of way. May release na sila, mayroon na silang ang kailangan talaga is the train sets. So hopefully with the train sets, ma-adapt natin sa existing rails, kahit pa paano makatulong. Lalo na, again, kami ay developmental. Hindi kami line. So pero we are working closely with PNR.
Sir, and this will be operational when?
Okay. Yung operational kasi babalik lang tayo sa aming timetable. Okay. Yung timetable namin by December or itong buwan na ito, December or January, meron na kami prototype for the 3. The one in Bicutan, road train. Actually, road train, meron na kaming, wala lang yung coach. Yung bare body, we are testing. We are testing several train na kabit-kabit. It's being run by isang controller lang. Ginagawa namin sa Bicutan. Pero yung may coach talaga na airco na pwede sumakay talaga tao, by, again, December or January, ganun din yung ating train. Hopefully, mga January, February lang next year. So yung tatlo na ito, nag-ano talaga kami. We are pushing na ma-develop. Again, local designed by local engineers using available parts dito sa atin. And it would cost much, much lower than other form of mass transport system.
Thank you, Sel Pat. Magbabalik po ang Gov@Work with a more personal side of Secretary Monteo. Huwag po kayong aalis. You're still watching Gov@Work. Let's look at the brighter, lighter side of Secretary Monteo. Sec, sa inyo, ito yung maraming nag-phone in ng mga tanong. Sabi daw nila, ano daw yung pinaka-amazing na invention para sa inyo?
Siguro because pinaka-latest siguro na talagang transformational innovation or invention, internet. Kasi it really changed
Everything.
life. Oh, yes. And before naman hindi naman marami, pero may mga similar to that, na it really changes the way we live, the way we do things. Pero yung pinaka-latest lang is internet.
Sir, nabanggit nyo kanina na isa ka sa mga inventors dati. Kung mag-i-invent kayo, sir, ng isang bagay ngayon na maraming tao yung makikinabang, ano kaya ito? Ano yung pinaka-function nito?
Actually, marami kaming ginagawa sa DOST. Minsan ang invention, minsan dahil isang tao lamang Pero ngayon, ang nagiging multidisciplinary na ngayon ang mga innovation. So, actually, invention, innovator, hindi man siya naglalayo. Pero innovation, ay you use, maraming discipline. Ngayon, ang mga interesting kasi ngayon, saan ba tayo papunta? Para bang, ano ba tingin mo sa future? Malaki ang impact ng genomics. Even sa mga kakainin natin, ay base na sa DNA mo. Parang, I mean, certain food are more, siguro, mas effective sa'yo. Gusto mo magpapayat. Tataka tayo, bakit yung iba, konti lang kinakain, hindi pa rin, di ba? So it's really because of the DNA. Yung ma-address na rin yun. May mga, I mean, I cannot really specify a single one.
Okay.
No?
Pero ganda nung pointing out the collaborative work that they're doing now with inventors.
Oo,
Pero sige sir, mas mag-single in tayo. Kung kayo ay isang Pinoy superhero, who would you be and why?
Wala akong maisip na lalaki, baka si Darna, babae na lang. I mean, just like any superhero, siguro to do good, sugpuin yung mga masasamang forces. So, palagay ko in that aspect, okay naman lahat na superhero. And they have superpower pala.
Ayun. So ito, if you were to time travel, ano yung gusto nyong panahon na balikan or puntahan?
Siguro mga early 50s.
Early 50s.
Mga ganun. Para bang kung nanonood ka ng mga old pelikula, mas relax sila eh.
Sir, mo kailangan mong pahinga.
Speaking of relax, anong ginagawa niyo sir to relax?
Okay. Meron na kasi akong apo. Okay. So, playing with the apo talaga is definitely relaxing. Swimming, going out of town. Yan. We normally go to Subic. So, yun lang na may aming form of relaxation. Manood ng sine, kumain sa labas.
The simple joys.
The simple joys. Actually, sir, thank you. Doon na po magtatapos yung mga tanong namin na napakarami. Salamat po sa pagbisita niyo sa amin ngayong gabi. At excited kami, sir, ni Gio, makita kung ano pa yung mga ibang proyekto ng DOST.
Salamat sir for showcasing how science and technology is in the Philippines. Baka your final message po sa mga viewers natin.
Salamat Gio, salamat Aiko. Okay. We are really, kami in science, we are really promoting na relevant naman talaga science to improve our lives, to make us more productive, to make us earn more. Malamang. And we have been, talagang yun naman yung aming talaga always, hindi man binabanggit, trying to explain to people na para bang hindi naman to pang laboratory lamang. Kahit pang araw-araw na buhay, nakakatulong din ang agham at teknolohiya.
Maraming salamat po.
Okay, sir.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Muli, maraming salamat kay DOST Secretary Mario Montejo at nais rin naming pasalamatan ang ating mga manonood sa patuloy ninyong pagsama sa amin dito sa Gov@Work. Ito po ang taus-pusong paglapit sa inyo ng Pamahalang Aquino through television and social media.
Dito maaari kayong magpadala ng question sa ating guest cabinet secretary via Facebook and Twitter o kaya kausapin siya via Google Hangout. Sa susunod na episode, kilalanin natin kung sino naman ang magre-report ng kanilang mga department projects para sa malawakang kaunlaran ng ating bansa. Muli, ako po si Gio Tingson.
Ako naman si Aika Robredo.
Ito ang Gov@Work.